I'm currently at work right now in my car and my phone is propped up against the banana, but it's because we have to talk about the Oscars nominations. I printed them on paper. I'm very serious about this. You might see people floating around in the background. Excuse the quality of this video if it doesn't look the best, or the audio if it doesn't sound the best. Like I said, I just had to talk about this, and I didn't want to wait because I want to get this video out today, the same day as the nominations, because there's a lot to talk about. Now, I feel like there was a lot of nominations that were good and for the most part expected, but there were a few things, as always, that really surprised me, really pissed me off, and we've just got to go into it, okay? Starting with Best Picture, American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. For the most part, I feel like they killed this category. Like, I can't really fault them too much for this. It's sort of what we expected. The only surprise here is that Across the Spider-Verse didn't get in, which I know some people are going to be upset about that, but I mean, I feel like the deserved films got the nod here. But then things already start to get crazy. Best Directing, Justine Triet, which is a surprise for Anatomy of a Fall. That's a great surprise, a welcome surprise. Martin Scorsese, expected. Christopher Nolan, expected. Yorgos Lanthimos, expected. Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest, but no Greta Gerwig. This is arguably the biggest snub of the entire thing. I had a feeling that there was a chance somebody was going to get snubbed in this category, but I thought for sure Greta Gerwig was a lock. If anything, I could have seen her sliding in over Justine Triet. Also, there was no Celine Song for Past Lives, no Alexander Payne for The Holdovers, but Gerwig is definitely the obvious standout snub in this category. I'm just really surprised. I feel like the Academy loves Gerwig. I mean, she's been nominated for Lady Bird and Little Women. This is something completely outside of the realm of something she's done in the past, which may have been what kept her out of the category this time, because she went from doing indie films to a big budget movie in Barbie, but still, I mean, you've got to give her that nod. I just can't believe that she missed out here. Best Actor in a Leading Role, Bradley Cooper, Paul Giamatti, Cillian Murphy, Jeffrey Wright. Those are expected. What throws everything off is Coleman Domingo. I'm not saying his performance was bad. I'm just saying that Rustin was not great. No Zac Efron, which that's a big snub in my opinion. I knew it was going to happen, but I really feel like he should have been nominated. In fact, The Iron Claw got 0 nominations overall. I don't know if it's because the marketing wasn't strong enough. I don't know if it was just released too late in the year that not enough of the voting body got to see the movie. I don't know what it was, because everybody I know that has seen that movie has said nothing but amazing things about the film itself, and especially about Zac Efron's performance. If it was up to me, he would be in there over Coleman Domingo. I love Coleman Domingo, but out of all of the nominees, he's the only one I could see switching out for Zac Efron. Ultimately, it's going to come down between Cillian Murphy and Paul Giamatti. I'm still not convinced who's going to win that yet, but I feel like those are the two obvious standouts. Best Actress in a Leading Role, Lily Gladstone. Sandra Hüller got in for Anatomy of a Fall, which was a great surprise. Carey Mulligan, Emma Stone, Annette Bening. The Naiad curse is real. This is not the last time we will talk about Naiad. Margot Robbie did not get in for Best Actress. There is no way you're telling me that Annette Bening was more deserving of that than Margot Robbie. Barbie got a lot of love overall, but in directing and actress, they got snubbed massively. Best Actor in a Supporting Role, Sterling K. Brown got in for American Fiction, Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, Mark Ruffalo. Glad to see Ruffalo in there for supporting. I feel like overall this was pretty expected. Sterling K. Brown was really the only one that was kind of, is he going to be in, is he going to be out? But he made it in there. The biggest snub for this category, no Charles Melton. If I had to pick, I would put Charles Melton in there, honestly, over Sterling K. Brown, or even Robert De Niro. Now, De Niro was great in Killers of the Flower Moon, but Charles Melton, I've said it in the past, was the glue that held May December together. And overall, it just seems like the Academy was not as privy to May December as I would have hoped. I think overall it got 1 nomination, but man, Charles Melton, that hurts. It really hurts, because his performance was so good, and I was really hoping he would get some recognition, and sadly, he didn't. Supporting Actress, Emily Blunt, Danielle Brooks. America Ferrera got in there, which was a very welcome surprise. Another one that I didn't know if they were going to do it or not, but I'm happy that they did. I think she's very deserving of that. Jodie Foster and Nyad. Nyad strikes again. And Divine Joy Randolph. I think it's obvious Divine Joy Randolph is going to win this category, but the fact that Jodie Foster got in over Julianne Moore for May December, or even Penelope Cruz in Ferrari, I think either of them were way more deserving than Jodie Foster. This is just, I feel like Jodie Foster just always is going to get that love. It's just inevitable that whatever she's in, she's going to get the recognition for it because of who she is. Is she good? I mean, she's fine. It was expected. I'm not surprised. Just a little disappointed. Nyad can go suck a. Adapted screenplay, American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, The Zone of Interest. That looks great. Until you realize Killers of the Flower Moon got snubbed. There's no killers in there. Scorsese did not get killers. As somebody who loved Killers of the Flower Moon, especially for the amount of detail and depth they went into talking about the Osage Nation and all of the trauma that they went through in those events. I love the script. I thought it was adapted extremely well, and I thought for sure they were going to put it in there. But then look at the nominees. I mean, I don't know who you'd sub it out for. This was just a really stacked category this year for adapted screenplay. Original screenplay, for the most part, pretty expected. Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May December, and Past Lives. May December ended up getting just a little bit of love in original screenplay. That is the only nomination they got overall. I'm happy to see it there at least. I think the screenplay for that is fantastic. I really feel like this is expected. There's nothing that stands out here that was crazy. There's no snubs that I can think of, no massive snubs. That's pretty on par with what I expected. Best animated feature, The Boy and the Heron got in. Elemental got in. Say what you want about that. They have to put in a Disney movie there. It was expected. At least it wasn't Wish. Nimona, that was a bit of a surprise. Robot Dreams, Neon's Robot Dreams, a movie that I haven't heard a ton of people talking about, but everybody who has seen the movie has said nothing but great things. That was a surprise, a very welcome surprise at that. And Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Snubs, you could say, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, didn't get in. Some were wanting to see a little bit of love for Suzume, but I feel like this category overall is not that crazy. I can't comment too much on the best documentary, although I thought for sure American Symphony was going to be in there, so I'm sure that's going to be a snub for a lot of people. Best editing, Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. Also, not too crazy. Glad to see The Holdovers get some love in this category. I feel like the editing is one of the things that was underappreciated about the movie, not talked about as much, but definitely well-deserved. Best sound, The Creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, and The Zone of Interest. Best visual effects, The Creator, Godzilla -1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, and Napoleon. Where is Across the Spider-Verse? Now, sure, it didn't get in for Best Picture. I know a lot of people are upset with that. At the same time, I can understand it was just a very stacked lineup overall this year for nominees. But how can you watch Across the Spider-Verse and not recognize the revolutionary animation, the innovative approach, taking multiple animation styles and meshing them together and presenting them in one singular film? It does so many things that we've never seen before, and somehow they didn't nominate it. I don't understand that. The rest of the nominations are fine. I would have subbed out Napoleon for Across the Spider-Verse, though. I'm going to put costumes and makeup and hairstyling together on the screen here. I don't have much of an opinion for this, but I wanted to recognize the nominees in the respective categories. Best Original Song, I feel like the nominees here are kind of expected, aside from The Fire Inside from Flamin' Hot. That's a bit of a surprise. I would have thought they would have put the song from Rustin in here, but it didn't get a nomination. There's the two songs from Barbie, I'm Just Ken and What Was I Made For? Nothing too crazy here. Then we get the Best Original Score. American Fiction, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Where is Across the Spider-Verse? Daniel Pemberton, that's an absolute snub. Across the Spider-Verse is one of the best pieces of music I've heard all year. Arguably top 3. Arguably top 2. You could make an argument that it is the best of the year. American Fiction is a big surprise here. When I think of that movie, there's a lot of great things I can say about it, but the score is not one of the things that necessarily stands out. It's also a bit of a surprise that Indiana Jones made it, but I mean, the Academy loves John Williams. But honestly, I would have replaced either American Fiction or Indiana Jones for Across the Spider-Verse. I think that is just so deserving of being nominated in this category. Not that I think it would win. I think it's pretty obvious Ludwig Göransson's going to win for Oppenheimer, but you got to at least nominate it. Production design is expected for the most part. The only thing I would have said maybe deserved a spot in there is Asteroid City, but overall, this is pretty much what I expected them to go with. Best International Feature, again, for the most part, pretty expected. Yeah, I somewhat take that back. I didn't realize that Godzilla Minus One just didn't get nominated in this category. It's obviously a movie that a lot of people loved and were hoping would get nominated. I guess the Academy is just still not cool enough to nominate something like a Godzilla movie for International Feature, but that was definitely a snub. Just wanted to call that out as I'm editing this video. I thought about that and I was like, I need to include this somehow. Here are the nominees for Best Animated Short Film, Best Live Action Short Film, and Best Documentary Short Film. Congrats to all the nominations. I just can't comment on any of it personally because I haven't seen any of these. And then we have Best Cinematography. El Conde, however you say that. Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. No love for Asteroid City or Barbie or The Zone of Interest. I think The Zone of Interest could have made it into this category as well. In my opinion, Poor Things runs away with this though. It's hard to say though. Cinematography is one of the categories that I'm kind of up in the air about. They could go a lot of different directions. So there you have it, the nominees for the 2024 Academy Awards. It's not the worst we've ever seen, but I definitely think they could have done better. I'm sure there are things that I'm missing, bigger snubs that I didn't even mention earlier in the video, but I'm going to be very interested to see how everything shakes out. Justice for Charles Melton, justice for Zac Efron, justice for Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie. Barbie still stacked up a lot of nominations, but those are the two most obvious ones, and they missed out. I don't know what the Academy is smoking. Whatever they're on, I don't want any. But anyways, guys, make sure to comment down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on the nominations. Who do you think are going to win? I will have a video coming out later this week with my winner predictions and picks. But as always, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching this video and bearing with me as I'm in my car. But I'm going to end the video right here because I need to take my phone down so I can eat the banana that my phone is propped up on currently. But until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace out.